Wow, the Guardians of the Galaxy are already back? Well, I only have 3 words to say if they are back. I am Groot. What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Yes, you know what I'm reviewing today, guys. A big movie just dropped this week, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is once again directed by James Gunn, who directed the first movie, and you have the returning cast members of Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Bradley Cooper, and Vin Diesel. And you have some other new additions in there, like Kurt Russell. This review is going to be 100% spoiler-free. Stay tuned with my spoiler-filled review I am doing with Matthew V. Haynes on his channel, but on my channel, this is spoiler-free, so you're safe here. The Guardians of the Galaxy are back. The whole crew is there. You got Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Baby Groot, and they're all fighting in the galaxy. They also come across a certain situation where Peter finally comes across his father for the very first time in over 30 years, played by Kurt Russell. So after Peter learns that he's his father, there's some certain situations that arise, and the Guardians are faced with newer threats that they never witnessed before, and they have to save the world fast before it explodes on them. Now, back in 2014, when we heard that Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out and that the Marvel Cinematic Universe was gonna take the risk on this movie, we were like, who the hell are the Guardians of the Galaxy? And then when August came out, it blew everybody away, including myself. The first one's one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, and I have been anticipating this sequel ever since they've announced it. James Gunn coming back to direct, you have the original cast members coming back, and all the hype and the anticipation was on this movie to be just as good as the original, if not better. And what were my thoughts on Volume 2, guys? I really enjoyed Volume 2 a lot. It hits the same beats just as the first movie did, and it satisfied me a lot. There's so many things that I loved about this sequel. And so, let's jump right into the positives. The performances in this movie, again, are fantastic. The whole 5 crew, Chris Pratt's fantastic, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista as Drax, Bradley Cooper as Rocket, and Vin Diesel as Baby Groot. Baby Groot is so freaking adorable in this movie. Baby Groot stole every single scene that he was in. I was laughing my ass off. And you will with Baby Groot in this movie. And it's not just the original 5 that shine out of everybody. It's also the supporting cast involved. Michael Rooker is back as Yondu. He's great as that character. Karen Gillan also gets a lot more chances to shine as Nebula. She was great. And also Kurt Russell, the newest character introduced as Peter's father. He was really good also. But guys, the strongest point of Volume 2 is by far the humor. It is so funny, just as the first one was. The humor hits it on point, and many times in the movie, because you care about all these characters and they're freaking hilarious. Most of the humor involves around Rocket, Baby Groot, Drax gets a lot of funny moments, and of course Star-Lord. Just the chemistry of these actors is so fantastic. James Gunn really knows his humor, and this movie's really funny. The action sequences in this movie are really fun to watch, and the first one, what I love the most about it, the action sequences reminded me of the Star Wars action sequences. It really is Star Wars in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just with a lot more space battles. The action in this movie, there's a lot more action than the first one, let me tell you. Also, the soundtrack is great. The Volume 2 soundtrack, even though I love the first soundtrack a lot more, it's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. This one is really good. I loved all the classic songs from the 80s, just like the first one, and yeah, the soundtrack had me grooving a lot. Also, another thing I appreciated about this movie is that it did something different. I mean, the first one was a lot more fun and a lot more groundbreaking. Like, this movie feels a lot more different compared to the first movie. It explores new worlds and different places we haven't seen before. And I just love the visuals and the new planets they were on. Especially the one with Star-Lord's dad. It all lies around the visuals, and just, I really love seeing these new planets. With how much I enjoyed Volume 2, guys, I do think, in my opinion, the first one's a lot better. This one did have a little problems, and so let's jump right into the negatives. The biggest gripe I had with this movie was the golden female character, Elizabeth Debicka. Yeah, just the whole subplot of those golden covered people. It was like, why are they even in this movie? They do jack shit. Like, they are involved in all those space battles. You get to see them like they're not actually in the ships, but they're controlling them like a video game. Just the whole aspect with those golden people just didn't make any sense, and why Elizabeth Debicka's character is in this movie. She's just wasted like every other Marvel villain. The small gripe I had is that there's a lot more exposition heavy sequences compared to the first movie involving Kurt Russell, and just it kind of drags on a little too much. You're like, okay, let's pick the pacing up a little bit. Something the first movie did way better is the pacing. In this one, it drags a little too long. Other than that, guys, that's all my complaints. In the end, I had a blast watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is a good sequel. Even though the first one is a lot better, this is still a great sequel. It totally surprised me. Everything you loved about the first movie is in this movie. Great humor, great action, great characters, great soundtrack. This was a total blast from start to finish. I cannot wait to see this movie again. Guys, absolutely see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You will not be disappointed. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I would have given it a 5 out of 5 if Elizabeth Debicka's character was more involved. Other than that, guys, it's really good. Alright guys, that was my spoiler-free review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Have you guys seen this movie yet? Are you going to see it? Did you love it? Did you think it was okay? Or did you absolutely hate it? Let me know down below in the comments. If you guys are interested, I did do a collaboration review with Darnell Ingram from the Nezzy channel. We reviewed the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. If you guys want to see that to hear my thoughts on it, check it out right here. And if you want to see my spoiler-filled discussion on Volume 2 I'm going to be doing with Matthew V. Haynes over on his channel, be sure to check it out when it comes out. I will let you know when it's up. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this review. And if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!